What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chillin' with Rick, the people show. Without the people, I'd be nothing, right, Bill?
That's what they say. That's what they say. That's what they say.
Lynn White says that. No, he doesn't. What's up, Lynn? And I got to give a shout out to our my boys Z and Justin. You know Justin, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're wonderful people. They give me a shout out every time they do their show, so
Justin.
I'm reciprocating.
Justin is one of the. I don't know Z, so
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
yet a person that I need to meet. But Justin, if you ever can go see Showtime, highly
recommend it.
Oh my God, yeah.
Top notch.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
So I am here with the lead singer, one of the lead singers. There's two.
Yes, there is.
Bill Mosher from the Horn Dogs. My brother Bill.
How are you, my friend?
Billy Mo, I
How
call
are
him.
you? Billy Mo.
Good. How are you?
Yeah, and I call you Chili.
That's right.
So we have this little.
I'm Chili. He's Billy.
There you go.
We were tossing around the idea of starting a podcast, and it was going to be called Handsome and Out of Shape.
The Chili and Billy show.
The Chili and Billy show. But it just wouldn't work. We'd only do it like twice a year, so
Yeah.
I tossed the idea around to you, and I would pick you out of all people.
And I would certainly do it.
Yeah.
Being in Syracuse, I don't know how. Well, maybe someday we can do it if we do a streaming thing where
Yeah.
I don't have to keep coming out, so
That's right.
I could stay where I am. But
Yeah.
I think the distance would be a little bit of a problem to make sure that we do it right. But who knows?
Yeah.
You leave everything open.
Yeah.
Everything's always open on the table.
Yes.
But,
So I want to tell the audience how me and you found each other.
sure.
Actually, I searched you out first. We were in the Sammys together.
Oh yes.
And we were in the Sammys together, and
Yes.
we were Final Eight, which is, thank you guys.
Right. We weren't physically in
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
We were because our entities were being voted on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horn Dogs were in there, which they should be, the phenomenal band.
Thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
as far as you go with the whole Chili and Chilling with Rick,
Yeah.
you should be there too.
Yeah.
You're doing a great thing for the musicians. So.
I try, man. I try. So I said, I got to get some of these guys that are in the top 8 on my show. So I reached out to the Horn Dogs, and Bill happened to be the one to message me back, and we became fast friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that. It was just literally, it wasn't even, I think we kind of became friends even before even really worrying about doing the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just kind of fell into place like that.
Yep.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's a thoughtful guy,
Yep.
caring guy. It seems like. So
I am.
just
It's the Libra.
everything. I'm a Sagittarius. I don't know if any of that matters.
I don't know.
Or
I don't
what
know.
connects or what doesn't.
Yeah.
But I don't claim to know that stuff.
By
But
the way, happy birthday.
belated birthday.
Belated, yep. That's not his birthday.
Yes.
It was a few days ago.
Yes, it was Saturday, December 16th.
I was just scrolling through Facebook, and I'm still seeing happy birthday, Bill Mosher. Happy birthday, Bill Mosher.
Well, that's what happens when you're in a band. There's a lot of people. You wind up just knowing a lot of people. But it was a great night. My family totally surprised me, and they surprised me. It was my 60th birthday, and you have to understand something. And maybe I've told you this before. I no longer go forward in my birthdays.
Yeah.
What
I'm 29.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What I do is, for the past several years, when my birthday occurs, I never acknowledge that I'm that next year older. I go 1 year backwards. So technically, this year I am 60.
Yep.
But in mentally, my mind, I believe I'm 54.
I believe you're right.
So what that does for you, and people think I'm joking, but I really do this. And what it is, it's a mental state. If you think you're getting older, you'll get older.
You're older.
But if you think you're getting younger, or you feel like you're younger, you will do what you feel.
That's right.
So this surprise birthday was for my 60th. And we were supposed to go out, my family, we were going to go out and eat Chinese at one of those big hibachi things out in Camillus. We were going to go. So all day long, I'm thinking we're doing the hibachi thing and eating Chinese.
Yeah.
And my wife says, well, a friend of ours wants us to come down to the Village Tavern and just have a drink before you go to dinner. I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll do that. So sure enough, we drive down to the Village Tavern. And I opened the door, and wouldn't you know, surprise! And I literally was surprised to no end. I mean, it didn't even enter my mind that somebody was going to do this.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm talking about this is they had balloons that were 60 and everything, 60th birthday. But my wife got this signed, but I identify as 54. So it was right out there.
It's like your wife knows you.
She knows me very well.
See, now, if I didn't know you and know how old that you are, I would think you were 75.
That's okay. My back is 75.
Yeah, so I'll keep that in you.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I think you would be right around 54. I wouldn't know that you were 60. I would say at least 54.
See that then mentally the thing it's working.
Yeah.
Because what you think about mentally also does have a physical. I'm not thinking that I'm looking 54, but what I'm saying is that your appearance is what you think you are mentally.
That's
so
right.
If it's working, it's working. That's all.
I'm trying to become Santa Claus.
Well, yeah. You're going to give everybody gifts or what?
I was dying it up until last week.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy Kurt. You got to meet Kurt. Me and him, he calls it Trim Wednesdays, and he'll trim up his shit, and he'll paint it brown and medium brown, right, Kurt? So he got me into getting medium brown, and it looked good.
Yeah.
It looked like I fell in the sand.
Mm-hmm. And then what did you do? You got rid of it?
I said, I'm just going to stop doing it. I'm just going to embrace it.
Just
embrace it.
Grab it and look at mine. Mine's got multicolored.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in there.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
But Kurt's a handsome son of a bitch anyway, and he's going to watch this, so I love you, Kurt. And let me talk about my friends for a minute. I got a handful of you guys, you included, that I can text anytime, and you guys would be there for me, hands down.
Mm-hmm. Certainly.
And I am so grateful for that.
Well, that's a good thing to have. You got to have friendship. You got to have people that you can count on, and it's important to have those relationships. I mean, if you can't count on somebody,
I did something wrong.
You're going at the world all by yourself. And although that's not a bad thing, it is helpful to have good friends, and I'm thankful that we have met, and it is what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Horn Dogs, man.
The Horn Dogs. Is that a band that I'm in?
I think. The Horny Dogs.
It's the Horn Dogs.
It is the Horn Dogs.
We and this is my second interview with you. So if it's repeating
technically
some
it's
things, third? Well, yes. They don't know the lost episode. Chili had a great episode going, and he deleted it
by accident.
By accidit. I'll never let you live
What's that? Down. Oh, I know. What's that dance you tried? The Lucy, or what's it called?
The Lucy.
What's it called?
We call it the Valerie.
The Valerie.
Because we got out.
I was racking my brain all day today.
We started it with Kate and I in the song Valerie. There's a part where it's just the horns, dun 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 dun, and we do the Valerie dance that you see Bruno Mars do.
Yeah.
Well, I've taken it one step further. I leave Kate now on the stage by herself, and I go out into the crowd, and now because enough fans have been doing it with us, they kind of know what we're going to be doing. Mm-hmm. So we called it the Valerie dance.
I like it.
But that's what we taught him
unsuccessfully.
we taught him unsuccessfully. You didn't do bad.
Around here at 2 in the morning, I got this whole floor. I'm dude.
His problem is he gets it when you're kind of showing him, and then when he's out on his own, it's like, whoa, you didn't learn a thing, my friend.
I didn't learn a damn thing.
But anyway, what were we talking about?
Horn Dogs.
Horn Dogs. So if this is repetitive,
you're in this band.
Yes. If it's repetitive, bear with us because there's some people that didn't see the first show or whatever. Yep. But we're an 11-piece horn band in Syracuse, New York.
Yep.
I like to say we're an 11-piece party horn band.
I agree with that.
Because what we do is we go out on stage and we just have fun. It's one big party, and we expect people to party with us. And by the end of the night, everybody should have fun. I think it works.
Yeah.
And so we are told, and we just have a lot of fun doing what we do. We've got good musicians, good friends, good people. It makes for a good group, 11 of us.
Yeah.
And that's the key, is just to have fun. Yeah. And if you have fun, it shows.
That's right.
And I like to think that I have fun up there.
You do have fun. I've seen video. I've never been to a show.
No.
I will get there.
You will get there.
I know stuff that you don't know. I'm proudly representing the Horn Dogs.
Yes, you are representing. Because every time I come, I bring a gift.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And tonight is no exception.
What else could you possibly give me?
We have
friendship, hat,
I have
shirt.
a Christmas gift.
It
comes in our Horn Dog bag, and you are free to open that up right in front of us.
All right.
People get to see what the heck we gave you.
All right. I'm horrible at opening gifts, guys, just to let you know.
Now, we handed these out at our Christmas show last Friday night. So, this is your...
This is my coffee mug.
Your official Horn Dog coffee mug.
The Horn Dog coffee mug.
Yes.
Thank you, brother.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
I officially have the Horn Dog's everything now, I think.
I think you do. You first of all, you have the hat. You have the shirt. You have the mug.
I'm an honorary member.
You have the framed honorary member Horn Dog certificate.
Yep.
And what else is there? You've done the Valerie dance.
Yep. Poorly.
You've worn the Love Shack jacket that I wear on stage.
And thank God I didn't rip that.
No, you're good. You're good. So you are official. The only thing that now you have to do is come to a show.
Right, Jen Romano? That's all I got to do.
Yeah. You have to pick a night when they're playing and when we're playing and just split the difference. Come to us and then go to them or vice versa, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll be a wise ass in the comments. Chillin' don't leave Oneida. Yeah. Chillin's been to Syracuse 3 times this year. And Camden.
He doesn't. He doesn't leave. But, hey, if it's winter time, I wouldn't leave either. I never drive anywhere in the winter.
I had a nice house. Why do I want to leave this?
That's what I say.
Yeah.
But everyone that knows me...
But to see Billy Moe, I would.
Wow. Thank you.
You're my Billy Moe.
But anybody that knows me knows that I literally live in Syracuse. I would take a plane to Rochester if I had to. I can't stand driving. Put me on a plane. I don't care. I'll go anywhere on a plane, train, anything. Yeah. I don't like driving. And part of the reason is I don't pay attention when I drive. Like, I don't like focusing on. I think I have some sort of ADHD or something. Yeah. Not that that's bad, but I think I have it. Yeah. Because I don't like focusing on anything. Yep. I like to just be able to, go off and for the most part, driving, you have to focus.
That's right. So, you got to focus.
So I hear you on the driving thing. It's not something that I enjoy doing.
I get chauffeured anyway, my wife.
Well, see. Yeah.
By the way, Bill was at my wedding. That was it.
Yes. Yes.
We should have planned that a little bit better, but it got better toward the end. Well, when we added music.
There was nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
It was just quiet and awkward. I was like, oh, we didn't think this.
No, it wasn't. I think you're thinking too much into it. No,
I think I did.
It was beautiful. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, you got married.
I did.
I mean, what more did you want?
That's right. It was a great day.
It was.
It was.
It was.
October 13th.
But, yeah, wasn't it
Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th.
We ain't scared. What's there to be scared of?
Not one bit. But yeah, so that's how we met. That's with the Horn Dogs. Yes. But, the Horn Dogs are the Horn Dogs. Yep. It's fun to...
You've been with them 3 years, correct?
I think it's 3 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.5 or something now.
Yeah.
But it's a fun thing to do. I never thought that I'd get back into a band. I was in a garage band when we were younger. Yeah. I stopped playing. I originally played the drums. Stopped playing the drums when I was 21, and never really picked the sticks back up. And when the opportunity came to join the Horn Dogs, I auditioned, went through the audition process. Wasn't even sure myself if it was the right band for me. Yeah. And we've mentioned this before. I'm kind of like I'm kind of like an Allman Brothers, Southern rock, Grateful Dead-ish. I mean, that's kind of my wheelhouse. I just...
Is that all intertwined together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we do different music.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, Caitlin Berry is our female lead.
Yeah. She's wonderful.
Oh my God, she's fabulous, unbelievable. I'm at all every time we play with her. Everything just comes out so easy. Yep. For someone who's not a trained vocalist, for me it's work to sing. Yeah. And I don't know. There's other band members out there that are probably watching this. You don't know if you're going to hit every note. Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't even really matter if you hit every note.
I think everybody's partying too much to care, Bill.
Well, that's part of it. If you're partying, and they're singing along too, so it doesn't matter. But Caitlin never has to even worry about that. Yeah. She walks up and she
just slays it.
Hits every note.
That's right.
when we were in the studio, we did our stuff, we did our songs, and then it came time to mix the songs, and our bass player was helping Ron at Subcat do the mixing.
Yeah.
He came back one night and he said, "Gentlemen, she literally hit every single note. They didn't have to do anything with her vocals. They were so spot on."
Yep.
And she just, I'm in such awe every time I hear her sing. And we have so much fun. And she's learning to have a little more fun on stage.
Yep.
Because, I mean, granted, she's a younger, she's 20, I don't know, I think she's 23 or 24. I don't even know how exact age, how old she is.
She's young.
But she is in a band with a bunch of 60-year-old, 50, 60, 70-year-olds.
Yeah.
And that's not easy.
No.
So when she first came on board, she was kind of, a little stoic, and I think with my antics on stage and how I move, I think it made her feel comfortable to also be that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someday we'll bring her on. She was on the first episode, the Lost episode.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Someday we'll get her up here.
Yeah.
And you can ask her some questions yourself. She's
I definitely will.
A beautiful individual. Everybody in the band is great. We do have a good group, and it's like one big family.
Yeah.
So, but
sounds like it.
It is what it is.
I'm happy for you, man.
Yeah.
You belong in there.
Yeah, and that's, we may get into this later when you talk about manifesting things.
I'm a big manifester. If I want it bad enough.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly the strange thing about being in the Horn Dogs for me was because I initially went through the auditions and I really wasn't sure if it was something that I wanted to do. Was I right for it? You don't want to hurt, the band's it's 23, 24-year-old band. You don't want to come in and be the person that screws all that up. So it was like, am I really right for this, for them, blah, blah, blah. And I got done with the audition, went home. And I was thinking, I'm not really going to, I don't think I'm going to do this. And then I was driving, I remember this like it was yesterday. I was driving in Camillus, and I got to a red light, and it just popped into my head. And I know things pop into your head out of nowhere, I now know to listen to things. It popped into my head, and I was saying to myself, no. I really do want to be in this band.
Yeah.
2 hours later, one of the band members called me and said, "Hey," yeah. Yep. So it was like it was meant to be.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
We're both believers in that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to pay attention to. You have to pay attention to your surroundings, what's happening, and you also have to pay attention to your intuition.
Yep.
And if something is telling you something, you need to listen.
Always listen to your gut.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, you
listen
have
to your
to.
gut.
And if you've done it enough times, you stop thinking that it's coincidence.
Yeah.
And if you pay attention to it, and if you believe in it, you will start realizing that things are put in front of you for the right reasons. And it may not always be a positive thing.
Yeah.
It may be a negative thing, and you sit back and if you can, you sit back and say, I understand why that happened.
Yep.
Or it happened to me. Or
I've done that a lot.
Yeah.
Or if it's something I really wanted and God says, but I still really wanted it, it's like, how did that happen? All my ducks were in a row, everything was good. And then something played out.
Right.
It didn't end up working out anyway, so it's a good thing I wasn't a part of it.
Right. Or something else happened that had you been doing this never would have happened.
Yep.
And so when you take it serious, it really is something interesting to kind of like a learning process.
Yes.
And we don't do it enough.
Yep.
I just happened, because of my past and what I decided to do, I happened to start paying attention to all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And manifesting, people think, manifesting. I'm not some, crazed religious zealot or anything like that. What I'm talking about is using the energy from the earth that is inherent in all of us. And when you learn how to use that, you start realizing the power of it all.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I've been doing this now for over 20 years.
Yeah.
and over those 20 years, you learn a lot of lessons.
Yep.
And it's what allowed me to create the love degree, which we'll get into maybe later. It's a little deep, but we will talk about it. But it's why you and I are doing what we're doing right now.
Correct.
I mean, it's one of those things that we met for a reason, and I don't even think we yet fully know the reasons.
I was going to say, I don't think I know the reason.
Yeah.
Maybe you had something I didn't know.
Yeah, no, it'll show itself eventually.
But we went to a local establishment here in Papa Top. They're a sponsor of mine. And we were watching Lynn before August. Shout out to them guys. And me and you left party out on the deck, and we went and had our own private conversation.
Yeah.
And we got to know each other a little bit more. And
Yeah. So and that's how things happen, and friendships are built like that, and you know, here's a friendship that you're, I don't know, X amount of miles away, but we're still friends.
We're still friends.
You don't have to be right next.
You're only
to
a text
other.
away.
Yeah. but that's how it works.
I can't tell you, Billy Mo, I don't feel good. You'd be like, suck it up.
Yeah. Well, I am. I'm very honest, and I don't.
I love your
don't
honesty.
apologize for that. I just tell you like the way I see it.
You're like my buddy Kurt. He's honest to a fault at sometimes.
Yeah, and
but, you know, it is what it is. I'd rather have you being honest to a fault than lying to me.
Yeah, and the thing with me though is if I'm honest with you, and you might not like what I'm saying. I'll tell you why I'm saying it. There's never any malice behind it. And we should be like that with everyone we meet. There's no reason to be a jerk to people or whatever. And the more that people make you angry, those people are tests. They are tests that are put in front of you to help you to understand yourself. And to help you to understand and love the human being that's in front of you, no matter who they are or what they're doing to you. That's not to say you can't forgive people or you shouldn't forget what somebody did to you. It depends on the level of what they did. But you can always forgive someone. You just may not always want to be a part of their world.
I remember. I'll forgive and forget. But,
Well, but if you hold on to that, you're the only person that is hurting when you hold on to those things.
Do you cut people out of your life?
No. To be honest with you, I try to uncut people, and if that's not coming into fruition, then I know enough to leave it. But I would welcome it, a person or whatever, in a second. I've learned. I will tell you this, with my work with the love degree, I give you a simple challenge. And it's easier said than done, and it takes a while to watch this challenge boil out. But I would challenge people to catch yourself whenever you say the words, I hate. It could be, I hate that person, or I hate that thing, or I hate that commercial, or I hate, whatever it is. I challenge people to take the words I hate out of your life. And in that challenge, you will notice yourself when you say it. So I'm not trying to get you to stop doing it. I'm trying to get you to notice when you're doing it. And eventually you'll want to stop doing it yourself. Because you realize, I mean, there's nothing to hate in this world.
That's true.
There's lesser degrees of love. And that's a whole nother discussion unto itself. But when we decide to hate something, we're just furthering a plan that doesn't need to be on this earth. And so I challenge everybody. I challenge the Chillin' with Rick crowd here. Just catch yourself whenever you say I hate. And that's all I ask you to do.
That's it.
And where you go with that after,
that's on us.
That's a whole nother lesson down the road. Yeah.
All right.
But
so I'm going to leave it up to you. What do you want to talk about right now?
Well, I leave it up more so to your audience. What would they be interested in? A lot of people don't know I own a vintage stereo store.
Let's talk about that because Kurt really wants to hear about
it's
that.
It's musicians. It has a lot to do with folks that like music. What I do is I own a store in Jamesville, New York. It's called High on Fi. It was short for High on Fidelity. And what myself and my partner were going to do when we first thought of this, we were going to go into high schools. We were going to own a store, but we were also going to go into high schools and educate kids on getting high on music or high on fidelity instead of high on drugs. Well, the store took off unbelievably. I mean, we weren't ready for how big it got.
Yeah.
We never got to do the education aspect of it.
Yeah.
So high on fi is short for high on fidelity. But why it's high on fidelity is back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, that was the key time for all these companies to be making stereos, amplifiers and receivers and turntables. And our age group, mine at least, 60, I mean, we grew up with some really, really great gear.
Yeah.
We just maybe didn't even appreciate it until now.
Yeah.
And why the store is so successful is the audio gear that you get today at the price points that they are at is garbage. And I don't mean that rudely. What I mean is that the audio quality from a receiver that you get at, you know, a consumer grade store for $250 or $300 can't match the quality of a vintage receiver that you could get for $300. Yep. You know, whether you're buying it at my store or, you know, we do what market value is, what the market bears. It's an unbelievable comparison. It's like apples and oranges. And the kids today, they don't really fully understand that until you sit them in front of some of these old pieces of gear, and they just look and they're like, wow, it sounds so clear and it sounds so crisp and it's so clean. And it's because the quality that went into the build in the 60s and the 70s it's just so far much better than what is being built today. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not audio quality pieces out there. What it means is to get that kind of quality today, you're overpaying. You're paying thousands of dollars to get the same kind of quality that you can get in a vintage stereo that you're only paying $300 or $500 or even $1,000. You can't compare the quality. So that's kind of how high on fi took off.
Is your store fully stocked? You're all good to go?
Well, that's another thing. We do everything by word of mouth.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know, prior to what I'm doing now, I was in advertising. I was an art director for 15 or so years. And as I got tired of advertising, I mean, you see the tricks of the trade, and you kind of, I just got tired of doing it. I asked myself, how does a product really sell? It's not really my ad, because I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink. And that's what happens in the advertising world. I can create a wonderful ad, and I can get a lot of people to come and look at that ad and want to know more about the product. But if the product is terrible, there's not an ad in the world that can help that. Because I might get you to buy once, but if there's no customer service, or if the product doesn't even work as it's stated, or whatnot, then you can't help that company. So what I did was I started doing something called word of mouth marketing. And I was one of, I think at the time, I was one of 6 people in the nation that I helped build the Word of Mouth Marketing Association. And it was in Chicago, and they're headquartered there. It was in Chicago. And the reason why it was so appealing to me was, for the first time, I felt that you could, or at least my company was able to, give companies the real lowdown on what people were saying about their products. And I developed the back end, an architecture of, we gave people products, and they talked about them. And we captured those conversations, and I put analytics behind those conversations, and we gave those analytics back to the companies. And that's how you grow and how you become better, or how you change things, or realize that what you did is right, or whatever. And it was so relieving to me, because I no longer had to, I don't want to say lie, but I no longer had to put things in an ad that I had no control over on the back end. I was able to give the company information, whether it was bad or good. I didn't care. I'm just spitting back to you what is being said.
Yeah.
But the key was, for the company that I had built, we were able to capture the real-time conversation. It has since snowballed. This was back in the early 2000s that I did this. And it has since snowballed. And social media now, you get people that are jamming the reviews with fake reviews and things like that. So it's kind of taken on a life of its own.
Yeah.
But that's, and I don't even know how we got on this conversation, but that I was an art director for 15 years in the advertising world, and that's what led me to the word of mouth, which then led me to the stereo stuff, because people hear this and they're like, holy crap, this sounds really good. And then they go tell their friend, and before you know it, it just took off. And we don't advertise. We literally have never advertised. It's word of mouth is how we built our company.
If you do, I want to get into commercials, bring Chillin in.
Well,
write me a script.
I'm telling you, I'll never do it. We'll never do it, because
that's okay.
But you're building your.
I am. You know how many guests I got in here through word of mouth? Hey, you got to get this one. Hey, you got to get this one. Hey, you got to get Justin Smithson. Who the fuck is Justin Smithson?
Right, and see, that's exactly your living proof of what I'm talking about. Is that somebody says you need to listen to this person, or you need to get that person, or whatever, and that's how you've grown. So
See, I get compared to Z all the time. In my defense, when I started this, I didn't even know who Z was. He already had a year in doing this, and he knew Mac Sheldon, Justin Smithson, all these guys for decades.
Yeah.
I'm just meeting them for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's sitting back watching me. He's like, he just said a couple weeks ago on a show, he goes, I'm trying to mold him. He knows I have great potential.
Yeah.
And I just got to get there.
Yeah.
He gets pissed when something messes up. I mean, Lynn's and Kevin's and mine interview came out sideways. I was beyond embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because I know that's not making me look good at all.
Yeah.
And I've actually had people come up to me and be rude.
Yeah.
Your show fucking sucks.
Oh.
That actually happened.
Okay.
Like, oh, man.
Well,
but honesty.
Take it as it comes, and find out why they said. Maybe, I mean, I don't like using the words, obviously, and he could have said it to you, whoever said it, a girl or a guy, could have said it to you differently. But hey, that's the way they chose to tell you. Yeah. But the more important thing is, because someone said it, why did they say it?
Yeah.
Like, what was it that they didn't
When
like?
this first started out, I didn't know you needed these. Yeah. I thought you set up a phone and just talked.
Right.
It was a whole learning experience.
Right.
And now these are a godsend.
Right.
I didn't know you needed sound for an interview. I didn't know all that.
Yeah.
This came to me in a dream.
Yeah.
And I just went with it because I had the outgoing personality to do it. And then as I'm meeting Daryl White, and I'm meeting Justin Smith, and I'm meeting Jose Lopez, and all these guys that are locally known. Like, they're locally known. It's Showtime, for God's sakes. And it's 3-Inch Fury, now Ryder.
Yeah.
They're known. And now I'm friends with these guys, and they'll give me their feedback. And they're not rude about it.
Yeah.
Hey, can I suggest something?
Yeah.
Sure. I still don't like to even hear that. But I gotta take the criticism.
Yeah.
You gotta do this just a little bit more. Just tweak this and you'll be great.
Yeah.
Daryl White, big on being myself. He goes, just be yourself.
Yeah.
He goes, people will see it. They will flock to you like a freaking moth to a flame.
Yeah. Well, and
I am 100% being myself.
Yeah.
And I gotta stop swearing.
Well,
but that comes.
Yeah.
That comes,
well,
I swear, I can't help.
And the swearing things, I mean, I'll just tell you from my perspective, the swearing things, I'll be the first one to use an F-bomb, in a room over there when I'm talking to somebody.
Yeah.
But when you're in a professional setting, and in your case, you may be having sponsors, or you may be having someone that's paying. to have this show broadcast to their audience.
I've actually talked to the sponsors. I go, I swear, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We swear just as bad. Don't worry about it. Thank God they're like that. But I'm trying to be mindful.
But there might be people that don't like that,
and
they paid you money, and you're in a setting that maybe I should think twice before I do it, or whatever. Yeah. But if you don't, that's okay. Yeah. That's how you roll, and you will then be known as, he swears on his thing. It's up to them, the advertiser, to say, I'm a part of that or not. Yeah. But when you're first starting out, you got to be careful because you may lose people, and you might not be able to afford losing those people. Yeah. Whatever. I mean, there's always a way to look at it.
I'm going into my 6th year next year.
Well, yeah.
I can't believe it. This has just flown by, and what a gift this has been.
Yeah. And we talked about this earlier. You had an incredible schedule this past year.
Yeah, I'm not ever doing that again.
Yeah. What did that make you feel like? Like, what was going on in your head as you started it, and as you started to go along? What was going on in your head? It
snowballed because I know all these guys now. I know they're friends with me. I know they have a good time doing my show because they tell me they have a good time doing my show. Yeah. So I'll reach out to, I'm not going to name names anymore. So I'll reach out to such and such, such and such, such. Yeah, I'll do it when you need me there. And it just snowballed. Mm-hmm. And I was booking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The guy says, well, I can only be here on a Thursday. So I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. And a month into it, I'm out there like this. It's like, what'd you just say? Yeah. And I'm going to drop a bomb on you guys right now, and we're going to get into this because I want to get into this. That's why you're here. We've talked about this. I have anxiety. This is the first time I ever addressed it publicly. I have anxiety like a SOB. And since I've been doing this, it adds a lot of pressure to me because there's a lot of pressure to have a good show. Yeah. And I'll just sit there and I'll do this all the time. And my wife sits there, she's on the couch, and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, what do you mean, what am I doing? She goes, you're doing this all the time. I go, what? I get tics with it, and I get, like...
So what... I don't... On top of the movement thing, though, what does anxiety mean to you, though?
Anxiety, what is it? I was overwhelmed. And I'm always in a constant fear of what people think about me. Because, I want to put on a good show. Yeah. And I think it's entertaining, because I get told it's entertaining. But I also know that people are out there chilling with Rick. I don't want that to happen, but it's going to happen. Because how Daryl says, well, do you want to accept it or not? You're in the spotlight. Right. I am. I have a show that hundreds of people watch. Yeah. And I have to walk on eggshells of what I say. Mm-hmm. Because I know things that are going on and I'm not allowed to say it. Yeah. And it's added pressure to something I already had.
Right. But are you working on relieving that anxiety? Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm starting off, so I'm going to do a lot less shows next year. I'm only doing 10 next year. Okay. That's less pressure on me.
Yeah. So from a time standpoint, your anxiety is exacerbated. Yes. Is that the word? We got to be careful with that word. Exacerbated. Yeah. I don't even know if that's the word. Yeah. Anyway, it gets worse because you're putting too much time in.
I am. And she yells at me all the time. She's like, you got to stop booking so many people. Yeah. And she goes, I know you love it, but you're killing yourself. Yeah. And how many sleepless nights I've had because my brain's racing how to make this better. Yeah. And I came up with, let's hire musicians now to run in here, and play and live.
So you don't have to do as much.
I don't have to do it.
Work. I don't want to say you're working, but if somebody is playing, that relieves you from worrying about being in front of the camera and having to come up with.
I'll gladly sit behind the camera because I've spent so much time in front of it. Yeah. I'm good. When I go out to see bands, I'm always in the corner.
Is there somebody stopping my car out there?
Oh,
no. Okay.
That's somebody leaving. Sorry. Neighbors leaving. It's all good. But when I go out, you can ask Scott the Can. I don't know if you met Scotty or not from As If.
Oh, yes.
I'll go in the back of Frogs, and I'll just sit in the back because I'm so used to being in front of the camera. When I'm out supporting other bands, I just want to be in the back. Yeah. And just talk to people and not be, hey, I'm chilling with Rick. I've never been one to do that.
But do you have anxiety regardless? I mean, take away the chilling with Rick aspect.
I always had it.
What not as bad. What are you? What? Why? Like when it hits you? Why is it hitting you? Yeah, do you know?
I don't know.
It doesn't come up in a certain instance, or when things are happening, you don't notice it, or
if something gets me going, whether it be excitable
Mm-hmm.
or just, I don't know, whether I'm drawn into something, I'll just find myself, the little twitch comes back or whatever. Maybe it's something triggered where I'm getting excited.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know that much about it.
Yeah.
I just know I have it.
Right.
And it's definitely increased since I've been doing this.
Do you get nervous doing this?
I get nervous before every episode. But
And
if
why
I didn't,
is that?
I didn't, that means I don't care about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I can handle this, and ain't no big deal. But as soon as I hit play and sit down and introduce myself and everything, it's all nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Because I never did this before.
Yeah.
Like I said, it came to me in a dream.
Right.
There's no guidebook how to do this. You just go out there and you hit play and you do the best you can.
Yeah.
And I'm naturally curious anyway, so I have a shit ton of questions.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you and I have talked. I've
Yeah.
always felt that the best way to do an interview, I mean, there are people who, and you did this early on, if I'm not mistaken, you had a list of questions.
Yes.
And what the mistake people make, and I'm not saying you did, because I don't think I've seen any of your very, very, very early stuff.
Yeah.
But what people make the mistake doing as an interviewer when they're first starting out is they're going to question one.
Yep.
And as the person answers that, then they move on to question
That's
two.
what I was doing.
And where that method falls short is that you are not really listening
Yep.
to what the person is saying, because a lot of the next questions come from what they're saying.
That's when I got called to the side in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to start interacting with your guests. You're going from question to question. You're not.
And you're not.
You're not
really
interacting, and you're not listening.
Yeah.
That's where
And that's the
like,
key.
oh, yeah.
That is the key.
Never done it before.
Right. So that could bring on your anxiety because you're now mindful of that,
Yep.
and you weren't doing it, and now you have to do it,
Yep.
and that wasn't coming as as all of this becomes natural.
Yep.
Though, I guarantee you, your anxiety will go away.
I hope so.
Because if you've done it enough times,
Yeah.
and you feel very comfortable,
Yeah.
I think your anxiety, though, I think you're being a little hard on yourself.
I always
because your anxiety is built around your nervousness, and your nervousness is going to be there because it's new to you.
Yeah.
Well, 6 years
Yeah.
and you're not,
Yeah.
but the pace that you were going on,
Yeah.
I've said it before. I couldn't believe you were going to try to keep that pace up. To be honest with you.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was burnt out.
Yeah. But the excitement was there that you wanted to keep that kind of a pace.
I just want to be the best.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen.
Well, think about it this way. You and I have talked about goals.
Yeah.
One of the things that I always try to tell people in my work with the love degree is that goals are fine. When goals turn into hardcore desires, that's where stuff hits the fan.
Yeah.
Because what I teach people to do is release your desires. Now that is easier said than done.
Yeah. And
it takes years and years and years to release your desires. But I guarantee you, when you release your desire, magical things happen. And people are probably going to think I'm some weirdo. And I'm okay with that. Because I know what I'm saying has been proven to me time and time again. That when you have desires, you're really touching into your ego. And your ego is the thing that screws everything up.
Yeah.
So I try to help people recognize true love and relinquish your ego. We can never get rid of our ego.
Yeah.
It's always going to be here.
Yes.
It's a part of every one of us. But on the surface, most people think when I say ego, they think it's, the ego that, oh, I'm great or something like that. No. It goes much deeper. The ego is anytime you can ask yourself, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And what am I trying to either prove or get out of it or jockey myself into some sort of position that makes me better than the next person or whatever. Once you start going down that path, that's where all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
So what I try to tell people in the ego world, when you relinquish your ego, it's really, you're letting go of your desires. So your desire to be the best, I don't think you should get rid of the goal to be the best person you can be.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start putting yourself on a pedestal somewhere, I'm either here or I'm not there yet or whatever, now your anxiety kicks in because your ego is telling you, you're not there yet, you're not there yet, you got to do this, or you got to hurt that person to get to where you got to be, or you got to do this, or you got to do... And that's what causes all the problems.
I was going down that road pretty hard, Bill.
So what I'm saying is true then.
Yes, that's very true.
So what we need to do is we need to work on letting go of our ego.
Yeah.
And letting go of it does not mean getting rid of it.
Yeah.
It means to keep it in check.
Yes.
And I always say that truth matters. So if you can be true to yourself and you can honestly do something without that little voice in your gut telling you why you're doing it, or you know,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Do you want me to give this sermon?
Yeah. What example is it? Do you have the little voice in your head telling you, no, but I want to beat him or I want to beat her?
There's nobody to beat, but I just want to be my own person, my own show, and I want people to say, wow, that was a great episode. And that's not to say not that that's never happened, because it happens all the time. You know, people, that was a cool episode.
Right.
I didn't know that about him.
Now, and this is going to be an example of what I'm talking about. Yeah. We're going to peel back the onion.
Yep.
This is psychology right here on
Psychology on chili.
Right on chili. I'm going to peel back the onion. Why do you feel? Why do you say that? Why do you have to have that best show?
Yeah.
Because, and this is where the truth comes in. And you don't have to spit this out to me tonight. I'm going to tell you to go think about this, though. If you can truthfully answer that why, I will guarantee you it boils back down to your ego.
I guarantee you you're right.
And that's what I try to teach people. And it's okay that it happens. You then have to learn to recognize it. And then you have to learn to diminish that desire. Because it doesn't matter. In the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you are. You want to put on a good show, but don't kill yourself thinking that I have to be the best, or it has to be better than the next one, or I need to be this. You don't need to do anything. No. And when you let all
I don't even have to do this.
Right. And if you keep that idea going, I guarantee you, you will start having the best shows that you've ever done, because none of this matters. As much as we like to think that this is neat and cool and what those people are getting out of it is wonderful, at the end of the day, buddy, none of this matters. None of the band stuff that I do matters. None of the stuff that Justin Smithson does matters. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. These are nice things that we do, but to be one with yourself, this is where it gets kind of, you know, like Zen-ish. But to be one with yourself, it doesn't matter. And it borders, it can take you down a very lonely path, because once you get this deep, and I can say this for myself, once you get this deep, it gets very lonely. And I don't mean lonely from a friendship standpoint. What I mean is it gets lonely because you realize, like, why are we all here? What are we all doing? And the better you get at understanding that, the more you see the downfall of man. And when you see it enough, it starts getting on you. It's a heavy weight. And I had to learn how to take that weight and be okay with it. And it's not easy to do. So I will challenge you as you move forward to help your anxiety to let the ego part of yourself just start to diminish it. And it's okay if you aren't the best, or it's okay if the show doesn't do what you thought it should do. Because you very well might be helping somebody that you don't even know you helped. And in that aspect, the show was great. You know, but you might think it's not where it should be. Well, what does that mean?
I do it all the time.
So hopefully we can help you get out of your anxiety, because you will produce better shows if you go down that path. But that's what I've developed with the love degree. There's 5 degrees that I go through.
Go into it, please.
And I
I want you to.
I don't even know if I fully have ever told you all 5 degrees.
I need to hear them.
This this thing that I've created was born from wanting to know why we're all here.
Yeah.
Why are we all here on this earth? What is this little speck of Bill Mosher or Rick Smith? What are we here for?
Yeah.
Because we can go away tomorrow, and so what?
Yeah.
So that's how it started for me. And I don't talk a lot about this in general to people. I talk about it when I know someone is coming to me. There's an intuition that has now been given to me, a gift of intuition that has been built upon all these years, that I know when someone is in front of me, they need to hear what I have been taught by something out there. And I just started putting this all on paper.
Mm.
And I created something called the Love Degree, and it's 5 degrees. And the reason why I created them goes back to what we just talked about,
Yep.
to help you recognize love and diminish your ego. And the first degree, and these are not in any type of order, so to speak, the order becomes apparent as you start working with it. The first degree that I speak of is called the believer. And before everybody starts to get, oh, this is getting religious-y, I'm going to back off. It's not about religion. What I mean by the believer is something started all this. Something started the universe. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
There's people that want to say it's God, or they want to say it's Buddha, or what. It doesn't matter what it was. You just have to have a belief that there is an energy that flows throughout our entire universe.
Yep.
And who even knows if the universe that we think we know of, you know, with the moon and the stars and all that, who's to say there's not a duplicate universe over here?
Yeah.
We don't know any of that.
Yeah.
But we do know that there's an energy and there's a frequency. And Tesla was big about it. There's energy, you got to worry about energy, you got to worry about frequency. He kind of like gave us some sort of a template.
Yeah.
So the believer is an understanding that there is an energy or a force that if we pay attention to it, the force is there for good. We don't naturally want to be bad. The force is there for good. So you get to that degree and you understand that, you can then move to the next degree, which I call the host. And by that I mean that that energy that's out there, if you believe in it, you need to believe that we all hold that energy. And you hold that energy, and I hold that energy, and everybody that is looking out there holds that energy. And some people want to call it the soul. I refer to it as our souls. And because that energy is within us all, we are really all one. And if I hurt you, what in a sense am I really doing?
Yeah.
I'm hurting myself.
Yep.
And if I hurt you, I'm hurting myself. And if I can't bring all of us together as one, like we should be because we're all one soul, what does that mean? There's different souls out there? There's different energy? No, we're all made of the same stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't mean just people. I also mean the tree that's out there, the flower, the sand. We're all made of the same goop.
Yep.
It may transform as different, entities,
Yes.
but we are all one thing. And if I say I hate trees, we're going back to the reason why we say I'm challenging. I hate that tree. I hate when the leaves fall down on that tree. It's such a simple thing that I'm talking about. But when you practice it, you start to realize that we are all one.
Yeah.
So that's the host. That's the degree I call the host. Then the next degree is the magician. And the reason why I call the next degree the magician goes back to the ego. And our job as the third degree, the magician, is we have to make the ego invisible.
Make it disappear.
Gotta make it disappear. We'll never get rid of it, but we're going to make it disappear. And when we can release our egos and understand them and release them and bring them to the point where they are not driving our decisions and that they are not moving us in directions that we shouldn't move in, once you can get that hold of that, then you become into the next degree, and that's what I call the soul seeker. Because if you get to degree 1 and believe in it, if you realize that you are the host of that, and if you can relinquish your ego, now I'm going to realize that I'm going to seek the soul in everything that I see. And if I can find the soul in everything, I'm going to realize that I am attached to that soul as well. And when you find that attachment, what do we have? Brotherly love.
Yep.
We can't. If you love the universe, and you love the universe that's inside of you, therefore you love the universe that's inside of that other entity. There's no other choice, but we're all one big family.
Yes.
If you can get to that point and realize and look for the soul in everything, then you're into the 5th degree, and I call that the soul angel. Because then you take this message and you bring it to somebody else. And that's
share the message.
That's what I've created. And I had a website. You and I just talked about it, actually. I had a website, and this was all detailed in that website. And the amount of spam, the amount of just overwhelming spam, it made me just say, I can't keep this thing going.
Yeah.
It was literally a job unto itself to delete the emails that would come in that were from entities that were just trying to, bring things down.
Yes.
So I no longer have the website as a front face. But what that's done is it's making me think, well, how else should I bring this to the world? But then I peel it back even more and say, I don't need to bring this to the world. The world comes to me, and I've learned how to recognize it. And I don't need to touch 900 million people. All I need to do is touch the one soul that's coming to me, and I know when they're asking for help.
Yeah.
And that's what you and I have talked about. So I'm concerned about your anxiety because I want to help you learn how to diminish that ego. And hopefully that will help to diminish your anxiety.
I think it will.
Yeah.
I hang on every word you say because I know you're a smart guy.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's intelligence.
Yeah.
I'm not claiming it's intelligence.
You seem to know what you're talking about.
And that's what I want to address. The more I wanted to find out why we are all here, the more I did, the more work I did in understanding myself, the more gifts I seem to receive. And I will never go into these on a big platform, on a one-to-one conversation with the right person that I know wants to know. I will release everything that has happened to me, but I'm not interested in telling everybody the whole story.
Yeah.
It comes out when it needs to.
Yeah.
But I will say that, and none of it is anything that I do. I will say that the Spirit works through you, and you're just a vessel. I'm a vessel that it's working through.
Yep.
And I'm a firm believer of that. And I'm not saying that's godly or religious or some part of attached to one church or the other. I mean, that's not where I'm going with this. What it is that you can do miracles. The energy that's out there uses our bodies as vessels to do a miracle.
Yeah. And
that's kind of where I go with it, and then I stop. I don't want to talk any more about it because it's not needed.
Yeah.
But this
is the first time getting them all up because you gave me a little bit, and then you're like, I ain't talking about it anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you finally got it all.
And
it makes perfect sense.
It's an example of kind of what we were just talking about. Yep. There were reasons why I needed to spit a little bit of it out to you because you were coming to me. We met for some reason.
Yep.
You were coming to me, and I sensed something, and I let go of what I needed to let go of to start, and there we are.
Yeah.
And there you are.
Here I are. Yeah.
But I will tell you, your show, your show has a bigger reason than just musicians.
It does. And it's not going to be just musicians anymore. Before I was so hard pressed on it's got to be a musician that can't come on.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be business owners. If it's a psychic medium wants to come on here, I just had one.
Yeah, yeah.
By all means, I'll give you the platform to do it. There's almost 1,900 people watching now.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have a little bit of everybody. I mean, next year it could be a musician, and it's going to go to a business owner. Yeah. And the next week it could be back to a musician.
Right.
Whatever it is, it is.
Right. Well,
it's not going to be just out of musicians anymore.
You're just chilling with Rick.
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah, yeah.
You're just coming to me, and I'm giving you a platform. You say what you got to say.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
And that's going to lead you probably down a bigger path.
Yeah, and doing lives is going to help.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. But it would be interesting to me to understand what an audience that just heard our discussion believes in that, or how does it make you feel? Is I think the better question is how the people that have heard this. It would be nice to know, how does what I just said make you feel? Is it correct to the point where it hits home, or can you see it working in your life and you just never paid attention to it or something? Because I don't know, a lot of times the people that I have touched with this, I don't know what I've done or what the story is or how it, I don't want to say ends, because I don't think there's ever an end.
Yeah.
But how does it progress with someone that now hears this and understands to some degree what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So who knows what?
Write it in the comments.
What we've done. who knows what we've
If
done.
you made it this far, give your opinion.
And this is too deep.
No,
I mean, it's a pretty
perfect.
deep. And
That's what I wanted.
We never got. I didn't even touch upon some of the stuff.
Yeah.
It can go very, very deep.
Yeah.
But it's a hard thing to talk about because a lot of people. I mean, isn't it weird that I'm talking about this stuff?
No.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I wanted deep out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to post it in the description. I said, no, don't just see it.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was going to get deep today, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
We got our snorkel on, Bill.
That is true.
We got our diving gear on. We're down there.
Yeah.
We're down a few feet. We got to start working our way back up.
Yeah. and believe me, I can turn this on and off.
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk about it, but it's not. I don't even think about it. Hours out of the day. I know when there's a reason why I need to say what I need to say.
I am happy that you come, number one, do my show. I'm happy that you just went into great length and detail because it helped me a lot. Just listening to it from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that. And you're a brother. I mean, I love you like you're my own family.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I try to help people to use the words "I love you."
Yeah.
You got to get over the fact that what does love?
Yeah.
What does that word mean?
Yeah.
And on the surface, people they are afraid of that word.
Yeah.
I can tell you that the more I talk about this to certain people, you can tell it's almost like a taboo word, and that's a shame because. I do. I love you like a brother. Yeah. And I don't even want to say I even love you like a brother anymore. Yeah. I love you like a human being.
Perfect.
And that's how we should all be.
Because it was iffy that I was even a human being.
Well, yeah. I questioned it at first. I was like, is this guy real? Who is this guy?
Remember, Lynn, how I said Lynn was going to get a black eye?
Does Lynn know he's going to get a black eye?
He doesn't, but he's going to. No, I love Lynn like he's a human being.
And you know what? He's a perfect example. We met through this show. And
a lot of people have met other musicians through my show.
And he's a great individual.
He's a wonderful person.
I love the guy. Yeah. Because, in fact, we met at the fairgrounds one night. He was behind me. We were watching Showtime.
Yep.
He was behind me. I didn't know he was back there, and he didn't know I was in front of him until we both kind of turned and we saw each other. We're like, yo! It was like a reunion that...
It's because of me.
Oh, yeah, and that's... See,
you're welcome.
Look at that. Look at that. But that's the key.
Now, how many people want Lynn like to actually associate with them? I don't know.
Yeah. But again...
Lynn, don't take your sponsorship away. Because when he was here, I was busting his balls. Like, what are you going to do, take your sponsorship away? No, I never do that.
Yeah, see... But he's a great guy.
He is. I like busting his balls.
And Justin's the same way.
Yeah. I want you. I'm going to invite you out here that night. We're all going to sit behind the camera.
Well, if
it's nice,
if it's nice, I will be back there, and
I won't invite anybody if it's terrible.
Yeah, but he is another person that I just admire.
Yep.
His ability. I just think there's people that they have it.
Yeah.
I believe Justin has it.
Yes.
And what he decides to do with it, I honestly don't believe he's as far as he should be. He needs to go 10 times farther, and he can. Mm-hmm. Maybe he doesn't want to, or maybe he doesn't think he can, but...
You'll have to ask him.
He's the real deal, brother.
He is. He can sing the phone book if you need him to.
Yeah.
If there is such a thing anymore.
And
I think there is.
No, well...
It's like this big now.
It doesn't get used very often.
But yeah, he's very talented, and he's another one I love like a human being.
See what it's going to do now?
See? I love you like a human being.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's it. I'm sorry it went deep, but it needed
No, I didn't. I'm not sorry at all.
And this really wasn't about the horn dogs. And I tried to explain that to you. You know, I didn't promote this on the Horn Dogs website. This is not really me representing the Horn Dogs. Yeah. We did what we did with the glass or the cup because and you needed a cup. That's why. And it would have been dumb if I gave you a Horn Dogs and people didn't realize why.
That's right.
But this was more of a Bill Mosher is here as Bill Mosher. Yeah. And you're here as Rick. Yeah. And if people
we took chilling out 15 minutes into it. I was under the learning tree.
Yeah.
And I think I did good.
Well, I think you did good. But let's recap. Are you going to say the word I hate or the words I hate?
No, because you told me I shouldn't. No, I got it. No. I'm just busting your balls. No, I'm not.
I want you to try.
It's going to come on.
Yeah, and that's the key.
Can I say I strongly dislike it? Or is that pushing it too?
I love it less. See, everything is a degree. Yeah. You either love something or you love it less.
I love it less.
That's you're thinking of the positive, but you're lessening.
I want to be a better person. I really do, and that's helping me to be a better person.
Well,
yeah.
I
mean, if that's the advice you got, I'll listen to it. Yeah. Because this world is so full of hate now, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
And it needs to stop.
And it doesn't matter what letter is next to your name, whether you're a big D or big R or independent or whatever. It really doesn't matter because it needs to go much deeper than what's happening. We need to understand that we are all of the same cloth. And we just really are. And I might not understand where you're coming from. That's okay. Maybe you'll be able to tell me something that I needed to open my eyes to. Yeah. But we should be able to do that as civil human beings, and we just want to make the world better. I know that sounds so 60s and peace, love, and everything, but there was something going on in the 60s that they had it right. The whole Woodstock,
peace, love, and happiness.
The whole Woodstock thing was happening.
Now it's live, laugh, love.
Yeah, live, laugh, love. But the whole Woodstock thing was so beautiful because what happened? All those people had that same mindset.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what, that's the sad part about it. Everyone just thinks it's hippiness and, like cool. No, you basically just relieve yourself of any ego, and that's what, you're like jelly. Yeah. But everything's cool, man.
I'm chilly.
You're chilly. Jelly chili.
Oh, God, that don't even sound good.
But we've talked enough about it. What are you doing for Christmas? What goes on in the Christmas at Chili World?
We get up around, well, I'm up anyway. I'm an overnight guy, as you know. Mm-hmm. So she gets up around 7:30, and she's all groggy. She's like, you want to open them now? Let's go, baby. Yeah. I've been waiting all night.
Yeah.
And my dad comes over for Christmas dinner.
Okay.
Otherwise, my dad would be alone.
Yeah.
And I can't have that.
Yeah.
So
he comes over, and you
it's just a quiet day at the chili house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
we enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, like I said, you've done a beautiful job here making.
I had nothing to do with it. My wife did all this that you see.
Yeah. I almost wore my Christmas vest, my red Christmas vest, because it's so Christmassy in here. You've done a nice job of making it look. And before this, it was the Halloween look, right? So you skip Thanksgiving. You don't put
We don't
turkeys or
do
anything.
we don't do things, and I get heat for it. Just like Tim Moyer, Halloween, November 1st, I think it is, or Halloween at 8:01. He goes right into Christmas.
Yeah.
And we're the same way.
All right. Sorry, I dropped you.
It's okay. Lynn done it about 12 times.
Yeah.
And he wonders why he's getting a black eye.
I need it.
See, it can clip on. But I don't. I just set it on my lap because it's easier that way.
Okay.
So.
Well, what do you think, brother?
We're gonna wrap it up, and this was a great conversation, man.
Well, I hope it was interesting enough that it kept people from just saying, "What the hell's he talking about?" and turning it off. That's all. I
would like to see everybody's opinion. Please comment on it. Please share this, and please invite people to my page. I'm still like 10 people off from 1,900. Bill, can you invite people to my page, please?
You know.
Or do you not do that?
I remember word of mouth.
Yes, word of mouth. Please get this word of mouth out there about Chilling with Rick, the People Show.
It's much stronger.
Yes.
Word of mouth. But
thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
I love you like a human being.
There you go. I love you like a human being as well, man.
You were family. You were Ghosty's uncle.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't have a gift for Ghosty.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
She's still got a big freaking thing of catnip.
Catnip. All right,
it's
good.
about this big now.
All right, good. That's what it was for.
She got some last week, and by the way, she's an evil pothead. Evil. She beats her sisters up. I just want to let you know, and we got you to thank for that.
Maybe we should get her off the catnip.
Get her a ball with a bell in it.
Yeah.
We'd be grateful for that. All right.
Thank you again.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Oh. Wait, bye, Bill.